Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Doctor Strange Issue 4 2023. Great looking cover here, man. This just really sells it and actually details what's kind of going on, focusing more on Wong and Director Peters for Wand. And it's like, alright, let's kind of see what goes on here. And for the most part, I like the art, but it gets kind of inconsistent detail-y wise for my kind of liking. Not that it's bad, it just... that's my only real quibble. Mainly when we get into like some other kind of stuff towards the end. Well, not towards the end, kind of like when we're dealing with like some vampires. So we start off and we are in Mineshaft 666 of Kentucky, where we see demons pretty much getting souls to mine brimstone, and Peters just pops in and is like, yeah, you know those nails of the True Cross relics that circulated throughout history? Turns out people believing that they were real were good enough to give them power. So I just had to hammer them into a bat. Hey-yo! And then just like start smacking the crap. And then of course, it's like, and what trinket do you have, G-Man? Wong. And I have no trinkets, no weapons. I have my mind, my spirit, my body. I've been trained as Fang Jiang Shi. I see all four directions, and I can kill a demon with one punch. Let me show you. As he then pretty much rips out his heart. It's like, yeah, well, do it. And we got Dr. Z pretty much going through and being like, yeah, these contracts, they're bullshit. You know what I mean? You're free. And then pretty much gets them to pretty much unionize. It's like, yeah, alright. And then the rest of the demon muscle starts popping up, but the spirits came together in like collective action and just stomped their asses. It's like, okay, that's a pretty cool way to solve a problem. And it's funny with Peters and Wong being like, what the fuck? And they're kind of like dealing with everything, but then we see freaking Ghost Rider pop up, and I'm thinking it looks more like Danny Ketch. At least with the way that the motorcycle's usually done, it's not more of the kind of Harley kind of esque one that Johnny does. And then, of course, they sealed the mine with a runic binding. Could be for another 10 years or so. And we see that, like, the Ghost Rider driven 150 miles to kill the demonic robber barons, asking where they are. And Peter's like, yeah, we kind of already dealt with that. You can go home. And then we see that they're on Athena, Wand's mobile HQ, and they're like going through their list of UXOs, which are unexploded ordinances, or rather their version of it, supernatural situations that, having been left unattended, are ready to go boom. It's like, yeah, that's kind of cool, and a good way to be like putting it is like, that needs to be dealt with. And then Wong's like, let's go to it. So they go to Hong Kong, and she was talking about, you know the deal, Billy? You and your nasty boys are supposed to stay underground, leaving the nice people of Hong Kong alone. How did Hong Kong Jiang Shi break the blood seal? And this is where it kind of gets nutty. The just artwork style for their faces doesn't work for me. They just seem kind of weird. And of course they're like, dude, screw you. And then she's like, agents? Rocks, Pandora, it's rice. It's rice that gets us, you know. Not rocks, Billy. LMDs. Lithomimetic doppelgangers. As they pretty much just throw doppelgangers to, like, fight their asses. And it's like, they just literally sit and just, like, have a nice little thing of conversation. And they are just, like, hemmed in. It's, like, crazy. Alright, let's try this again, Billy. Damn Agents of Wand, like it wasn't you who kicked all this off. Kicked all what off? Come on, don't play innocent. Assassinations, destabilizations, straight out of the Wand playbook. The Pandora Peters special. It's a... And Wong's like, okay, come on, be more helpful here. It's like, oh yeah, what's your name, little man? So I can put it on your tombstone. Wong? Wait, like the Wong? And I love that. It's like, yeah. And I'm like, sorry. You got Wong working for you, moving up in the world. Cut to it, Billy. Fine. If for some reason you're not behind all this as they go to Lake Brataz, formerly the village of Bratos. Someone's been tracking down magical bad guys and bumping them off, as we see Z kind of like helping him out with, or he's just fishing. He's just sitting up top as they kind of go down in their nice kind of apparatus. And we get a rundown of who this person was. Boris Bathory, the Butcher of Belgorod. Blood magician without equal, immortal, unkillable, and believe me, we tried. Until Juan realized that we could use his blood to bind Billy and his Zhang Shi. We chained Boris to this stone with hex and curse, and flooded the village to be safe. Well, it would appear that someone was able to kill him, as we see his body chained to the rock still. So this proves that it isn't me killing bad guys, because those deaths are going to cause a domino effect on doing all my hard work. And Wong's like, this is what I said when I wanted a better way, Pandora. Your games, Juan's games, your deals, your work, these are were temporary compromised solutions. That was always Juan's way. Better, the magic spy biz, Wong. What does better even look like? And then we actually shift over, and we then start seeing that he starts to lay that out at some point. And it's like, yes, alright. So now we go to Denver and we see shit just going completely nuts. Which I do love that at least the color is just amazing. Like, the use of color for all the supernatural crazy stuff is. And Wong's like, there has to be a better way. What's going on here? Our mystery killer off Jasper Genever, that rotten bastard and his soul's impact in hell scared these ghosts out of it. Can you imagine somebody dying and then he goes to like hell and it scares ghosts out of hell and they're getting out? Like, that ain't right. That ain't cool. And of course we see Dr. Z pretty much flying around up top doing a runic seal thing, and it's great. And then of course it sends them all back to hell. Get an idea of the body count so we can figure out what our next step is. And then they just kind of start going around and we start seeing all of the kind of dead people. We've got, of course, Jasper, Magister Flexrox's Jungle of Madness, which is this, like, saber-tooth looking motherfucker. The final resting place of Chorfus, Dark Thuragist of the Walrus Men. The throne of Igneo, Arch Warlock of the Lava Men. Just, like, burning rocks on a throne. The summoning circle of Duke Arcos, Hell's Heretic, the hive of the Hex Swarm Queen. Those don't look good either. And we see somebody's killing evil magicians, magical monsters, and like, I know that, but we see that Pandora's pretty much running through it and speaking out loud for herself. She's like, I don't really care, but it's disruptive. You introduce a new apex predator, and it puts everything into chaos. Because then for every creep that gets ice, there's 10 more made more dangerous by the fear that they're next. Flood in the water, rational monsters start acting out. You want to know that better? What better look like? I've been thinking about that. I've worked with a doctor most of my adult life. Here's what I want from Juan. I don't want to just treat the symptoms, plastering them over with bandages and compromises. Games of death and deceit. I want to heal things, a holistic approach. She likes it. They have 3 agents and a whole half-world of monsters and madmen to keep track of. You're right there. At any rate, we need to recruit. It'll be interesting to see what Juan becomes. I'm used to the old way, the cloak and dagger stuff, and you insist on a new way. Do you think we'll stay friends? I think so. I can imagine our arguments over human resources decision will be that tumultuous. That's not what I'm talking about. I meant, do you think we'll stay friends after we decide what to do about our magical murderer? And like, Wong's like, what are you talking about there? And she's like, don't make me dance, Wong. I'm too tired for it. She starts running through everything. We both know who's the magical world's version of the Punisher and Pantyhose, or was I incorrect in my tally of how many blasphemy cartel agents she put in the ground? Because I know my number 1 suspect is Clea Strange. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of pointing that route. And we see the Clea is hanging out with Steven and Bats. And it's like, okay, we'll have to see how this kind of works out. And then, of course, we get a teaser of Strange and Clea doing the whole wedding bit. So I liked this because I like the update and the kind of palette cleanser that we got to check in with Wong and Peters and see how their wand work is doing, how Wong wants to essentially take Doctor Strange's kind of modus operandi and kind of put it onto an organization and see how that kind of works for these magical and mystical threats and everything, dealing with a healing kind of approach rather than doing the kind of way that Peters has been doing. And she's open to it. And of course, they're like all this stuff going on. Clea Strange would be the prime suspect of taking out all of these people, no matter what the kind of consequence is. But Clea does understand the consequences, so we'll have to see if it is her or if there's someone else at play and what's kind of going on. Could be a multiversal variant of like Doctor Strange or Clea Strange or whatnot. We'll have to see how this kind of works out. But there is definitely going to be a clash of like Wand and Clea at some point, and that's going to be nutty and nasty to see how that works out. So I'm looking forward to that. So other than certain kind of stuff with the artwork style, which I'm, for the most part, I was okay with, but certain parts I'm like, this isn't as detailed as I would have liked or kind of done in a way that I liked, which, that happens. I really enjoyed this and liked the plot progression that we got, the character work, seeing how Wong, Z, and Peters work together, and also just having a nice cameo of Ghost Rider. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.